I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy, 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 boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, they'll come over here so. For the date done, you a go love over here so. Subscribe to the sports.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Herbs and spices add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Greetings and salutation. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I'm your host, Manning's Man. After the festive season, Boxing Day was yesterday, but it is being celebrated today. I hope you have enjoyed the Christmas so far and you're looking forward to the start of a new year. A few days ago, we had an interview with Mr. Andrew Peart. He is head of the coaching at the Jamaica Football Federation, newly established coaching school. And we had some technical issues, but as he promised, he said he would come back. He would come back to fulfill his promise and continue and complete the interview. We have him here today. And he's here to just conclude that which we started. And I know many of you had many questions. So maybe what we can do is just to really start it all over from the beginning, where he will introduce himself and then we will move from there. I won't spend a lot of time, except I will share with you two thoughts for you to consider. All right. Number one is in Malachi 6, verse 8. Micah 6, verse 8. And this is what one of our subscribers sent to me yesterday. And he said he reminded me, I remind him of what the scripture speaks to. And he spoke about it speaks about, what God requires of man. And it is to love justice, to seek mercy, and to walk humbly before his God. And so I encourage you today to love mercy, seek justice, and walk humbly before the Most High God. That's my word of encouragement to you. Also want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Trick Nick. Hope they will renew their sponsorship because you would have supported them by purchasing their product. Trick Nick is a Jamaican-owned and operated company in Canada, and they use authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products. They're offering a 25% discount on all their products. All you have to do is shop at www.tricknick.ca and use the code I am sure sports 001. And if you do that, you're guaranteed to get 25% discount. In fact, at this particular time, they have a book that was released recently. You will also get a copy of that recipe book with your purchase. So check them out, show them some love and support so that they can renew their sponsorship with us for 2022. All right. So without any further ado, let me welcome and introduce again to I Am Sure Sports, Mr. Andrew Peart, former coach at UE. Also, he was at Glenmuir. Unfortunately, they didn't make it through to the Doncaster Cup semifinal. They were knocked out by their uh, major rivals, I think Clarendon College. But Edwin Allen had something to do with that as well. Not sure he wants to rehash those bad memories. But in his first season, he did a very good job down there. So let's welcome to I Am Sure Sports again, Mr. Andrew Peart. Mr. Peart, good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sorry.
Good afternoon, Manning's man. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners.
Yeah, man. Welcome again. And I did apologize on your behalf for the interrupted interview that we had a couple of days ago. And I know that you really wanted to do it, but it just wasn't working out. So we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for that, man. And let me apologize myself as well. But as I promised, I'm back. And hopefully this time we can get it smoothly.
It is already smooth. So go ahead again and just it, probably give them your full name and the capacity that you're serving with the JFF and where you're presently coaching now. I know you're at Glenmore. Just a little bit about you in terms of probably a coaching pedigree, where you were before. Just a brief summary.
Yeah, so Andrew Peart, the name. Current role with the JFF is head of coaching education. Also coached the national under 15 boys team and at Glenmuir High School as well. Previously at UA and Jamaica College, and been coaching for a little bit over 10 years now. So that's it in terms of brief history. For the coaching school though, or the coaching education program, for us the mission is to create a cadre of world-class coaches through process of continuous education, equipping them with the requisite skills and knowledge to go on and really develop the players that we think we have the raw material to do. So the education program for us is not just a certification program where we get people passing through the program. It's about continuous education. So yes, the certification is important, but also the follow up in terms of how do we mentor our up and coming coaches, or how do we create environments that they can go and even do an apprenticeship if they are not actively coaching. That's very important, and even the introduction of a licensing system that will facilitate the continuous professional development. So that's what we're looking forward towards.
Okay, very interesting because you said continuous coaching is not just
Yeah,
certification, but the
continuous
idea.
professional development.
Right, right. So that so it moving through the different stages. So maybe you need to explain to the viewers what are the different levels, from the lowest to the highest levels that they can be certified in or be qualified in the process. And
They,
what
they,
and what I think once you explain the different levels, you would probably share like what level of football that permits you to coach and yeah.
all right. So before I get on to the pathway, which is what I think you're describing there, let me just say the continuous education or continuous professional development program would be similar to how a driver's license, for instance. You get a driver's license, but every 4 or 5 years you have to renew it. A medical doctor has to do some hours of continuous development to keep their license active. So that's what we're looking towards, getting our coaches enrolled in continuous development, or if not, move on to at the higher level or a level up on the pathway. So the pathway, what you described at start, is, and this is something that is newly implemented, because for a long time our coaching education program has been dormant somewhat. So the JFF D license, D as in Dover, that will be the entry level course, D license. And that will enable you to coach at grassroots level. So primary school, prep schools, academies, grassroots as well as defined by FIFA is non-elite and non-professional. So a business house team is a grassroots team. That's adult grassroots. A church league team, a corner league team, that's grassroots as well. And as I said, the primary school, prep school level. Above that now, you'll have the C license, which will be a CONCACAF C license, because that's where the CONCACAF courses start. So that will, in the future, the C license will be required to coach minimum C license at the high school level.
Okay.
And also your major leagues, that level, the first tier.
Like a second tier.
Yeah,
Yes.
first level in the parish football.
Okay. Like Division 1 for some parishes and
Division
Major
one.
League for others. What about Super League?
I'll get into that now.
Okay.
So the CONCACAF B license, say by 2024, 2025, will be required, minimum requirement to coach at your Super League license. So that would be your tier 2 level, anything below the Premier League. And that will, the CONCACAF B license, we want to earmark that for elite youth as well. As I said, what you call the Super League now, or the tier 2 divisions, that. And above that, CONCACAF hasn't really started it yet, but the A license, the CONCACAF A license, will be above that. That will be for your Premier League teams, the men's and women's Premier League teams, your national coaches.
When you say national coaches, right? It is national coach at all levels from
National
under
coaches,
15. So
yes.
none of the other licenses really qualify you for national coaching. In 20, let me just make sure I get this. In 2020, by 2025, the C license would not qualify you to coach the under 15 national team or the under 17.
That is correct.
Okay.
So at start now, we can't implement that because we haven't given enough persons time
Right.
to get the necessary qualifications. And also, as I mentioned, with the CONCACAF A license, that course has not yet been started by CONCACAF. So we can't jump the gun and implement that when you would not have access to those courses for coaches. So, but by 2025, we're hoping that all of that will be a possibility where we could have at least 3 years prior. So maybe 2022, 2023, the A license being offered by CONCACAF, which gives our coaches chances to be certified at that level. And then once we have a suitable number of coaches qualified at the A license level, then we can say, or go ahead and implement that all professional clubs must have an A license coach, because we have certified 100. So that is a pool. You have 16 Premier League clubs by then. Here are 100 A license coaches. Go and pick from them, while continuing to increase the size or the pool of coaches at that level.
Okay, because it is, so we can expect that between now and year 2025, the idea of this pathway, the long-term goal is to have coaches, some from the D level starting at D, some at C, some at B, matriculate up to the A level. And
The
so,
pro level would be the next one above that.
Right.
Yeah. So
which is a pro level now a UEFA pro level coaching?
it would be CONCACAF pro license. So important point here to note, Manningsman, is that come February 2022, CONCACAF will start what they call the coaching convention. The coaching convention seeks to accredit all courses that CONCACAF offer in the region. So when you do a C license or a B license or a A license in Jamaica, that will be recognized in
Cross
Canada,
curriculum.
in America, in St. Lucia, in Guyana, everywhere across CONCACAF.
Even Mexico.
Even Mexico. Once you're in CONCACAF and all the countries sign on to that, that is what happened. So that is the model that UEFA implement, because if you do an A license in Latvia, that A license is recognized and accredited for you to work at any A license job in England, Spain, Italy, wherever. So
Okay.
that's the same model that CONCACAF will follow. Also, CONCACAF will try to sign MOUs across confederations to say, okay, UEFA, Asia, CAF, Oceania, CONMEBOL, whoever, recognize our courses as well,
Because we are recognizing yours.
which means that you can move across or outside of the outside confederations or inter-confederations to take up coaching jobs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I will just pause to ask this question, because it's the first one that we have here. And this is former national player Damian Powell. He's asking, if I'm doing my coaching course as a former national player, what level I'll start at?
So that's one question that we're asking here, because one of the things we have noticed that the level to start them at would be at the C license level. But there may be some aspects of the D license that we might bring on and say, pay attention to this before you move on. But I think professional players and former national players, they might be exempted from the D level and start at the C.
Okay. What about before we get on, because there's so much to get into, but let me just ask this one that is right at the top of my head. So you have some coaches who have, they have been around as long as we can think about football in Jamaica. Let me give you an example. And they may have other qualifications. I don't know if it is equivalent to anything that they offer now. I mentioned persons like Jackie Walters, like a Bradley Stewart, like a Emerson Diggy Henry. I'm talking about some of these persons who have been in schoolboy coaching, Liebert Halleman. These guys have been in schoolboy coaching for 25. They have done courses overseas, and have, I don't know if they have a UEFA certification, but there was no CONCACAF general licensing. So how would those coaches fit into the system, or they'd have to go through the same?
No. And you can't look at like persons like that and say you have to start at the D level. What will happen is that when they present the qualifications they have undertaken before, then you can make checks with the necessary associations or bodies that offer those courses, and then you can look at it and say, okay, this coach move on to the B license level, or this coach satisfied all the requirements of the CONCACAF B, move on to a A or so. So it just depends on them presenting the documents and moving on. So it's down
Yeah,
that line.
because I asked that because I wouldn't want someone to feel like, so I can't go and coach again after coaching for 30 years. So it's not designed to stop you from coaching. It is
No.
designed to further educate
Yeah.
the coaches that need the coaching education. And I think especially for the younger ones who are
And
coming.
remember, it's no fault of theirs why these courses weren't available before, or it wasn't structured and open as this. So the courses that they would have done before, just present them, and then we make the necessary checks and move on. So it's not them starting over the ladder, or it's not to prevent them from coaching. It's just that we figure that when you look at the best practices from countries around the world, they have kind of organized their coaching education and streamlined it right through and thus producing the quality players that they figure they envision that this is what a future country X player looks like.
Okay. And like I said, with your driver's license, you use the example of a driver's license. And sometimes the thing with driver's license is the at least in the States, this is an effective system. I know they have try to implement it in Jamaica, where you get a certain when you get a ticket, certain points are taken from your license. All right. And I know that there may be it not practical to have that in football. But
I figured
could a
a
coach,
road.
could a coach have a C license, and then after evaluation and coming in back to do the test, you realize he has lost it, gone back to some unconventional method, and then there's a holding of the license, or at least you need to resit these courses.
No, once you pass, or let me not say pass, because pass brings along it the connotation of failure. Once you have satisfied the minimum requirement to get this certification, a better example then would be to use medical doctors. Medical doctors, they get a license after graduating medical school. And the medical association will say, before your next renewal, you must satisfy 15 credits.
Right.
All right, 15 credits of continuous hours of professional development. Those credits might be doing a course online or whatever on ethics in medicine, attending a workshop, which have some number of points allocated with it or to it. And you might do a next course or a short course or workshop that satisfies that requirement of say 15 hours or
Credit, right.
15
Credit.
credit hours.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's not about going around and doing over a course, but for someone now who say has the CONCACAF C license and their renewal is in 3 years, but within that 3 years they moved on to do the CONCACAF B license, then they don't have to do those 15 credit hours because they
Okay.
would have moved up around on the whole coaching ladder. So
Okay.
it's simple as that. It's not about doing over a course, or it's just
Because it's continuous education, like you said.
ensure that the process of continuous development is taking place. If you remember, about a year or two ago, Jurgen Klinsmann took a job in Germany in the Bundesliga to coach Hertha Berlin, and he couldn't for a long time because the German FA, the DFB, is saying that your coaching license has been expired for so long, and you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to do these hours to get back in the game. So it's along those lines that we need continuous development, because that's what the game is about and coaching is about. It continues to evolve. You want to keep yourself, just like a medical practitioner, you want to go to your doctor and feel comfortable that, hey, the man who is doing this surgery or doing this checkup for me is who he says he is and has satisfied all the continuous development proposed by the medical association. So you feel safe that way.
All right. All right. Making a whole lot of sense. I have two questions. This is from a coach. His name is Rudolph Stennett. He says, Coach Peart, why the national players should be exempt? It's coaching a different level. I think he said it is coaching a different level as playing, or is it coaching at a different level?
I
Is
kind of understand the line he's going
understand
here.
the first,
He's saying, all right, as a national player, they you would want to exempt some national players from, say, the entry level, but that would be the only one, because at the end of the day, playing is different. This is my thoughts now, and
yeah.
maybe my attempt at answering this question. You see, playing is very different from coaching, because a player might have a successful career as a player and just God-given talent. Right? Now, coming to deal with players and managing and leading a team requires some different level of skill sets. And that's what we want to prepare our coaches for, or prepare even our former players for. So the CONCACAF C might be a reasonable start for some national players because we want to ensure that at the end of the day, before they go out to coach, they have met the fundamentals and know about leadership management, planning and preparation, and actual teaching and coaching. So you don't want them to just go out and figure that, oh, why is this player not doing this? Or why he can't do that? Because you're pretty maybe judging a player now on your abilities as a player. We want them to see comprehensively or holistically that persons come with different talents and different abilities. So we want them to be prepared for dealing with that.
I have some questions, but what I don't want to do is all the comments to with questions to kind of go and then have too much to give you at one given time. So
That's fine.
again take these four and then I'll go back to some of the other things. He says, what about those who have documents? I think this is referring to the question we had asked earlier about the older coaches like Jackie Walters, say for as an example. This is just as an example, who is in his 70s. Like he probably been in the system so long, may not be able to go back and find some of those things. He may have went to Germany, I don't know, did a month, get a little certificate in whatever. How right? I think that is a question he's asking. What if they can't?
The simple fact here would be to use conventional wisdom, because you can attest for this person's track record over the years. Coach Walters, who you mentioned, spent a number of years coaching our national youth teams. That should at least qualify him for some level if the documents can be provided. But it would be a come as you, how I put this now, special cases, those one. You can't turn away those coaches and say, oh, start over. No, because that level of
Experience and
expertise and experience, it's not, you don't get that over time. And even with Coach Walters, you look at it, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the 2010s, has been doing fantastic job at coaching. So, yeah, those will be decided on a
yeah, I understand. Yeah, because there must be exemptions to the rule. There will be special cases that there is some level of exemption. Same thing with the national players. There is some level of exemption.
Yeah, depends on the level that
yeah, when it's a national player as well, a person who was called up one time and came off the bench for a friendly may not have the same exemption as a person who has played over 100 games for the country. Right, so there are certain exemptions. All right, but M10 football is asking. He just wants it to be clear on the pathway. Is it DCBA?
Yeah.
Then pro.
Yeah. Right. So the pyramid will look something like this, where the majority of your coaches will be at the D level, bottom, and you go up. So the higher you go is the higher qualification.
Okay. This is a GC Foster student saying that if you go to GC Foster College and you have a diploma certificate, specializing in football, would you get exemption from the D license?
Correct. So this is part of our we'd call a manual that we have developed with some rules or policies and procedures, in that persons who studied sports science or have a degree in physical education, or in this case, unseen sports, a diploma or certification specializing in football, they will get exempted from the D level to move on to the next.
Okay, so there, I don't want to say loopholes, but there are enough gaps in the system to facilitate the different.
I would even call it gaps, because they have done their time in terms of, so like Unseen Sports here did a diploma specializing in football. You have to respect and value the time put in to get that. So, yes.
Okay. All right. And then Damian Powell Again, former national players asking when is the next coaching seminar taking place. He's very interested, but he's in the United States, I believe, so I don't know how that is going to work. Maybe he plans on coming to Jamaica if it's possible.
All
Uh,
right. So what we're doing now, Manningsman, is that very soon, if not a week or two from now, we'll be putting out a calendar. We want to do at least one D license in every parish for the next 6 to 7 months.
like one person from a parish or
No,
one
one
course
one course
per
D
parish.
license. So D as in dumpling license per parish for the next 6 to 7 months, right? So maybe for the year we can do say 20 D license courses, which would be for entry level coaches, um, primary school coaches who don't have certification, and those who work in adult grassroots that figure that, okay, I need to take part in this. Um, that's for them, right? So 20 means that more than one will be running per month. So just in different parishes. Now, for the CONCACAF C license, which would be the next level above the D, we have earmarked 4 of those for 2022.
So this is a C license.
C, CONCACAF C,
C. Okay.
4 of those for 2022. So we're looking at February. These are just rough estimate days,
Yeah.
not confirmed as yet, but February, March, or whenever the Easter would be, March, April, and then 2 months in the summer, June, July, or July and August, we'll have those C license staged in Jamaica.
Okay.
Now, pertaining to the C license, an important part of it is while you want to educate coaches, you first have to get educators, coach educators.
Right.
Exactly. So there's no classroom without a teacher.
Right. So
Now,
okay. So there's come to a very important point now. Who's going to teach so many people? But go ahead and
so
explain.
what we have done, I think last week we finished on last week. Last week, Wednesday, we had a workshop for coach educators, CONCACAF and JFF. CONCACAF has a program called Train the Trainers.
Right.
That's CONCACAF's coaching education program that seeks to prepare coaching educators to deliver on courses. And this workshop covers like adult learning principles, because adults learn different from children. We have differences between coach and educators, or similarities, because a lot of the educators will be coaches. So when you step in front of a classroom, what is the difference between being a coach as opposed to being a coach educator, or what are the similarities? Um, you look at the even mentoring, providing feedback, using reflection. So those were some of the things covered in that workshop there to prepare the coaches to start in
Coach.
2022, the coach educators to
Right.
start in 2022 to be lead educators on these C license courses. So that was a very important part of the puzzle that we need to get done. And the reason why we say 4 for next year and not a bigger number than that is that based on the number of coach educators we have certified
Right.
by CONCACAF to teach on these C license, we can't be too burdensome with them and say, let's do 20. And then the quality diminishes because you have to be here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
So
Okay.
4 is a reasonable amount to start this process, get the quality right, and then you can look at developing more coach educators in the following years, and also doing more courses. So like the C license courses, doing more of that. And the reason why we're only at the C license level is because the majority of coaches in Jamaica, the highest level certification we have attained thus far is the CONCACAF B license. So the coaching convention states that you can teach at the level
Below.
one level below
Oh, okay.
the qualification that you have.
So let me get this clearly. So there are 4 coaches.
Courses.
Not coaches, but there are 4 coaches, 4 teachers of coaches now. Which would
No,
include,
not four. We have, you know what? It's about 11 we would have.
oh, okay, you have 11 persons
11 or
now
12.
locally who can
Yes, who can deliver on.
B, C, and C.
Exactly. C and D.
C and D.
Yeah.
But you don't have anyone to do the B yet.
So when we are to do the B license in Jamaica, which we have 2 planned, we will then have to invite CONCACAF educators to come and offer this.
Okay.
The most we will do in that is offer our services as observers
and facilitators in a sense.
Yeah. But the lead would be CONCACAF Peart.
Because you'd have to be at the A level to coach the B level.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Getting that. All right. So M10 Football is asking, and then Coach Tenet said earlier that tell Peart this. Well said, Coach, about the question he asked earlier. Mm-hmm. All right. M10 Football is saying that is it that the advanced level 1 and 2 are the C and D license respectively?
All right.
So
no.
Now people have advanced level 1 and 2, which was in the previous regime, basically. Yes. Where do they stand in terms of this new process now with C license, D license, B license?
All right. So when you look at the curriculum of the advanced, say level 2, which was the highest one then, it incorporates some of what the C license offer, right? Level 2. But it doesn't fully prepare you for the B license. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the level 1, once you have an advanced level 1, we'll say, okay, move on to a CONCACAF C license. That will be your next course. With the level 2 now, we'll have to take into consideration some other factors before even promoting some coaches to the B license, or might ask them to do some components of the C license. Because one of the key things, man, is that we don't want to put our coaches in certain environment that they'll find it more challenging to adapt. So for example, the level 2, moving straight to the B license, sometimes can be a big job based on how prepared you are.
Okay, right.
So I might just say, come and do these 4 components of the C license. You don't have to do the full course. Do these components and move on to applying for the B.
Is it like, because in the university you have to transfer credit? So sometimes what happens is that when you want to do a particular course, they will say, all right, did you do this? Did you, especially moving from one country to another, did you do this? All right, you get exemption from these, but you have to complete these 4 so that you can. Is it something like that? Well, you have level 1, level 2, but you still need to complete sports science level 2 as an example. And when you do that, you would have matriculated into the C.
Yeah. Without doing a full year or a semester of work, yes.
Is it similar to that?
Yes, similar to that.
All right. Because there's so many
and when you look at the raw data, man, the number of coaches who are waiting on that next course above the advanced level 2 is significant. It's a huge number. And that will take some time, because even if we offer 4 courses next year, look at it as saying 25 persons per course. That's 100. And I think maybe we have over like 800 or so persons who are waiting on that C license or B license. So it will take some time to cover the whole number, because the program has been dormant somewhat for a little time. and that transition or movement up the pathway was not seamless. So it will take some time, and we just want the buy-in from all the stakeholders, the coaches, the organizations who run competitions. We just want the buy-in and a little bit of patience as well, because as I say,
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to say, listen, I don't get to do my, sorry to cut you, but like I'm a coach at Mannings, all right? But I have whatever it is now. I think you can have a to school coach schoolboy now is level 1, level 2,
yeah,
level 2. So I have my level 2 coach in Mannings. A next coach now gets to do the level C, and he approaches the principal and say, "Hey, but I just complete the course," and the principal say, "Well, I mean, this a bigger coach," and so I could not have been on the list because of how many persons were there, and I end up losing my job because some person went before me. How do you
and
protect the coaches who will take some time to get their license from losing their
exactly.
jobs to the coaches who complete the because the system can be unfair, you know?
Yeah, and we hope in cases like these, like stakeholders who are administrators or management made the right decision. And that's why we say, I mentioned to you, if not live here, but maybe offline before, in that we have to set aside a number of years to say, based on the size or number of coaches who are waiting, we have to put aside, say, okay, let's say 3 years' time. So 2025, September 2025, when the schoolboy season start, every coach must have at least minimum a C license,
Okay.
because you would have given them maybe
At least
4 years.
courses. At least for 4 per year, minimum would be 12 courses. And if you cover 100, that's 1,200 people.
Yeah,
You
or
should have
maybe
enough.
about 300, about 300. Say
Okay.
100 per year, 300 over three
Oh,
years.
yeah. So you
Yeah,
should have enough. You should have enough by that time. Yeah.
yeah. And,
Okay.
and, and if you count up to September 2025, then it could be 400. And
Okay.
then we could say, okay, this is that. So it's a slow grind at start, but slow progress is better than no progress.
At all.
And one of the things we want to keep a hold of in our minds is that we want to guarantee the quality, because remember, CONCACAF is also outlining minimum requirements like minimum number of hours, content. They also will come and audit the delivery of the courses to ensure that the standard in Jamaica is the same as the standard in Mexico, Canada, St. Lucia, Guyana, and
Right. Because you're saying that once you get to a certain level, because you're now allowed to go and coach in those jurisdiction,
yeah.
then CONCACAF have to ensure that Jamaica not shortcutting the process there.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. There's
All right.
no shortcut. You just have to enter at the front door like everybody else and make your way through.
All right. I get in so many questions. So people just bear with me, keep sending in the comments. I'll try my best to have Mr. Peart answer them because I have some questions as well, and I want to make sure that everything is as much as possible is said so we can all have a better understanding. So let's take this one, this comment from M10 Football. The fact is what a level 1 coach would have learned in their course would have been like brushing the surface compared to what a diploma degree trained GC Foster student have covered.
That's true in some sense, but I don't know. I didn't attend GC Foster, but I would have to look at it in terms of that. But I figure that getting on to the C license level, answering M10 football's question here, would be the natural start point, or the prudent
Yeah.
start point.
Listen, you see, this is a thing, because I mean, because school is kind of all right. Let me say this: school, learning coaching, and learning sport education can be different. And
Mhm.
because actually, I've never been to GC Foster, but I know a learning institution, though they may provide more theory, they may not provide the same amount of practicality that is needed. And so things must be evaluated, because the truth is it doesn't stand to reason that because one person has a diploma and one person have like a level 2, the diploma person knows more than the level 2 person.
You see, an important thing here to add to that, and it I would say thanks M10 for bringing up 2 points about GC Foster. GC Foster and the other teacher education institutions play a massive role in our general education and academic sense right now. And looking at it, you would say these colleges or universities, they graduate at least, I don't know, but I'm sure of like 100 persons with physical education degrees. Or for the other teachers' colleges, it may be like about 30, 40 per year. One of the things we are looking to do is these PE teachers are going out into the schools to address the issue, especially at primary schools, is we want to
Grassroots.
partner with the teachers' colleges, GC Foster included, to at least get all their PE majors certified with a
Okay.
CONCACAF C license before they leave.
That makes
So
sense.
when they leave, straight into a primary school, straight into a prep school or high school, and they can now begin coaching at that level. Because look at this way, man is man. When I just got this job and was in conversation with the head of coaching education for Sweden, Ramin Kiani, he said it's a big task, right? But to simplify the task, focus on 2 things. Populate the number of coaches at your grassroots level, and also start the development of a national philosophy, or at least start the education with some tenets of our fundamentals of way of view as a national way of playing, and start to educate the coaches there, because the coaches will be the one who go out and coach the players in a style that will benefit the country as a whole. So those 2 things, the development of a national philosophy and the grassroots. He said in Sweden, the grassroots is really the driving force behind the development of Swedish football, because in about 2011, they made a conscious effort to change the way they played rather than this British style football, because they were influenced a lot by British coaches from way back in the early 20th century. They now want to change their way of playing because they have a big immigrant population, and stylistically, a new way of playing might suit all Swedish players or Swedish nationals.
We're going to get to that philosophy, because I think this is it's paramount to this discussion.
Yeah.
Because if coaches are being educated, it must be with a
Framework.
there you go. But we're going to get, because I see someone is asking, but I think he answered that, because he's asking, Pagan 180 is asking if you can coach a level higher than your license. No. If you have a C license, can you take on a B license coaching job? A coaching job that requires you to operate at the B license. But
in this current moment,
let's put it at 2020, and I think I would believe no, whatever license you have, you can do the job, because it is very permissible in the present construct of the whole thing, because it has not been properly formalized or put in place as a system that here is what you need. But come 2025, if I have a C license, I cannot coach in the Premier League.
That is correct.
Right. So that would answer the question. You will not be allowed to coach at a certain level if you don't have the requisite license. It's just like with a driver's license. You're not supposed to drive a truck depending on the amount of kgs that is written on your license. You have to,
Or a teacher going into a classroom, it can be
right. That's a good one.
Graduate early childhood education at college and then go to teach at high school or so forth. So
No,
Yeah.
the other big question in all of this is finances. Let me get to that part because people
Mhm.
are going to ask, what is the cost for this? What is the cost? And then here it is that I am going to, I think I know the answer for this, but I'm going to ask it. I'm going to spend X amount of money to move from D license to C license to B license. What guarantees are there that I'm going to get a job that pays me? Will there be a, 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 a stipulated salary for persons who operate?
Well, that's something that can be discussed. Maybe with the establishing of a coaches association to lobby for coaches. Um, for us at the education program, we're not taking on that um, that
You're
that
not taking that.
not one yet.
All
But
right.
it's a very good point, and I think in structuring and offering all of this, then you can start to put out that the minimum salary should be
Exactly, because
this,
I'm saying
because this
there's a
person,
minimum salary for teachers that
yeah,
teachers at the primary level, the secondary level, same things with doctors, same things with nurses.
yeah,
Well, if this is a profession, shouldn't there be a
exactly,
union? Somebody say a union that says, listen, B level coaches should not earn below
yeah,
$150,000 per month, as an example.
exactly,
C
yeah,
level coaches is 100, D level coaches is at 50. And it's kind of like that. So a person know that if I spend um you know a, a, $1 million to complete all the way up to the A level
mm-hmm,
course, there is a way that I can get meaningful employment. Because remember now, this is not just Jamaica. This is
mm-hmm,
when I go to work across CONCACAF. Say I get a job in the Cayman Islands,
mm-hmm.
I can negotiate more, but it should be that there's a minimum at the A level or the A level in CONCACAF. The minimum salary is 5,000 US. Wherever you are, whether it's Jamaica, people can negotiate, but
Yeah.
CONCACAF sets it as a minimum.
And that's an interesting point because you want value for it's an investment in yourself first and foremost, but you want the security to know that this investment in myself will pay off in the long term. And yes, a minimum salary is depends on the level. Depending on the level, it's very good. And also the fact that you are now marketable to how many countries in 30 odd countries,
Yeah.
it really, really counts and really is a selling point. Yeah, so that's one area looking at as well, like coaches to educate themselves or certify themselves and move on to because you'll find a case where the market is just um, too saturated for some, and then you'll have people moving on, and also with that saturation, you'll have people moving down
Yeah.
and that will help the development of our football.
Well, that
Uh,
is true.
once the
Because
coaches
you can only have a certain amount of Premier
are
League
paid,
coaches, 12 teams.
exactly.
Say we
Once
have
the coaches are paid properly, then lovely. Because again, a case study is Iceland. A UEFA B license can get you a job as a elite youth coach in Europe. But in Iceland, they have a lot of UEFA B coaches working at the grassroots level because again they have
it's
about
saturated.
7,000 B licensed coaches, and that's helping to drive the development of their football. So that's what we're looking at here in Jamaica, because really and truly we need to really formalize and structure the way we develop our players. Everyone who comes here to Jamaica to visit or see our players, they say that we have certain raw material that the rest of the world doesn't have. So let's put it in a way that these players with the raw materials, they are educated properly in terms of how to play football.
Yeah, man. So on average, right, Mr. Peart. So before we talk about how much people go and get when they start working, Let's
How much
talk
you have to
about
pay?
the first thing you have to talk about is that how much I'm going to get when I finish university, but how much I need to pay to complete university. So the D license on average, what would be the cost for completing
The
the
D license
D as
is,
in dog?
yeah, D is 30,000.
30,000?
Yeah.
That's pretty inexpensive. And
And,
this is for the complete course, including lunch, breakfast, dinner,
yeah.
accommodation.
Yes. No,
Really?
in terms of this is the reason why we say we're going into the parishes, because
Okay,
one
okay.
person spending unnecessarily to travel to somewhere. So do it in at a central location in the parish, ease the demands of transportation and also accommodation for persons.
Okay, so this
But
is really the 30,000 covers just the course itself. You don't cover
course
transportation
and lunch.
and lunch. Course
Yeah,
and lunch. All right. That's D as in dog.
yeah,
30,000. All right. People, you
yeah.
hear that. What about the C license?
Times two.
60.
Yes.
And it's kind of the same thing. In parish, that kind of a thing.
Or we might regionalize the C to say the four conference again for access for different persons coming on.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. What about the B license, which I think
The B is yet to be determined. Again, because we are not running that one.
right,
We
because
have our
persons
courses.
within CONCACAF would come in
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
that. All
yeah,
right. So that's 30, 60,000. That's not bad.
yeah.
And the course is how many hours?
So
So the
the
B license.
D license is minimum 30 hours. Minimum 30 hours. It can go up to 40, but we want to, based on guidelines, satisfy the minimum 30. For the C license is minimum 60. We can go over, but not under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it is 60 hours, that's probably over 2 weekends. Or
More is so for the C license, a model we might use is 1 week, 1 full week, and then 3 other days to get it done. Because remember, again, we're dealing with adults, right? And many adults who are coaching or who want to be coaches, say at the C level, haven't sat in a classroom for 8 hours in a day.
yeah.
And that kind of be really burdensome for some of them, right? So for the C license, we might say, let's do 8 days at different phases, 6 hours a day. And it's not all classroom either. It's about practicals, group work, and some lectures, of course. But we're looking at the persons who are in front of us as participants and know that sitting for 8 hours in a or being on a course for 8 hours a day is kind of a bit too much. So we might say 6 hours and then stretch it across the 8 days.
What
For
do you do with
the
the
for
coaches?
the
Sorry.
for the D level now, we might look at 2 weekends. Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and with all our courses, we want to have an instruction phase. So you come to the course, then you have a development period, go back into your own environment or back to your own team, practice some of what you have learned, document, create a logbook, and then do some work or homework that you would have been given, and then come back to the second instructional phase a little bit better because you have sat or been on the course, gone back to your environment to practice, and you have reflected and created a logbook with the things you have learned. So
I hope my two things. One, my hope is that the coaching school is not like our school, because I find that our schools in Jamaica don't try to get you to pass the
So
test.
our assessment is not summative like that. It's formative. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
assessment over time, over time, over time. It's not okay. Come sit an exam and everything is dependent on the results of that exam. No.
All right. All right. So Sorry, let me get this one. About the accessibility. I think that
Mhm.
should be these coaching courses are a big secret. Only people in certain circles seem to know about them. General populace need to be more informed about the particulars. Let me just first say before you answer that, here it is that there's a forum on YouTube that has told you possible dates, cost for the C, cost for the D, what it will entail, all of that. So this is a step in the right direction because here's information being given out. So this is the dawn of a new day,
Mhm.
right? So, so this is it formula. It has started. That's number one. But there is that concern though that previously enough information is not out there and you just hear that a course was completed, including the one that was just completed.
Mhm.
How will that be addressed?
As I mentioned, the information is to be made public. It's not a secret thing where we're operating here. It's about disseminating the information about prospective or upcoming courses to everybody. We not a part of our thing is getting participation from everybody across the country because the football is not played in one region only. It's for everybody. Just to address the the recent one you mentioned, that was more of a workshop for the educators. And part of the new model in delivering the workshop for CONCACAF is to have a practical component on it. So the coach educators who participate in the workshop or on the workshop, they have to gain their practice on delivering on a C license coaches. And we made that for Premier League coaches or assistant coaches, Premier League clubs. But for the general populace, as I mentioned, come 2022, we'll be having four um, C license and about 20 D license. This information will be promulgated right across the entire country to everyone. Social media pages, the JFF social media pages, um, the
I,
traditional news outlets,
well,
or
what I'd love to do, Mr. Peart, is once you have decided those dates, I'd love for you to come back on.
our management who have a wide um,
A lot of coaches, a lot of
cross
former
section.
footballers.
Exactly. So,
Love for you to come back on and give the dates. But just beyond that, is there like let's use Damian Powell who spoke earlier because he just sent text saying that he wants to know. He's over there. Could there be the JFF coaching school website where I can fill out I can go there to
yeah.
go on that site because that's very easy to set up. Fill out the
Simple.
application, get the date because it's a lot of people, I should be able to register as soon as possible, pay
Mhm.
online,
Mhm.
all right, and then I'm called.
So all of that is being set up as we speak, management to cater to the entire population because it's a new age we're in, and the pandemic has really shown you that online is a very essential part. So you don't want persons to go into an office to pick up a
There you go.
application
Or,
form.
I don't think we're in the era where I need to call the GFF to find out or
No,
call this person to find
that
out.
information has to be made public, and that's what we'll do. And accessibility, as Formula Sports mentioned, accessibility to the application, to the dates, to methods of how you can pay, all of that
Yes.
will be
So we
made.
can expect by the end of January, because the first course is in February, that there is at least a site established where the general.
And if not a site, because I don't step outside of my reach here, if not a site, then using social media, the JFF has number of social media pages, the links, the dates, all of that can be posted there.
Okay. I'm thinking about payment methods, because listen, we live in a time now where nothing is really paid
in
like
Canada.
yeah, like people want to pay online, just transfers and that
Uh-huh.
kind of a thing. So I hope that you know that will be established as well. I see M10 asking the next question here, so let me just. He says don't skip this one. He says I'm an advanced level 2 coach and need to make the next step upward. Where do I go?
So as I mentioned, M10 at the top of this show, yeah, that the decision will be made whether to move it straight to a B or you fulfill some components of the C license. Not necessarily the full course, could be the full course, but it could be parts before you move on to the next level.
Okay, all right. And I see CC Sports Lab is asking. So where did this 700,000 come from? I think Mr. Speed spoke to the level A. And he says he gave an estimated that it was
Mhm.
around 700, 650 to
Okay,
730.
I think that would
A
be
level,
in the ballpark of an A license.
right? The A license. Yeah.
Say CONCACAF should do an A license by next year.
Right.
Would you want to go to a country that offers the A license? That's the one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Marquino Ferron says, why do I get the impression that license process seem to be circulating behind the public, which is no dates, no information, etc. I think you kind of
Yeah,
answered.
because remember, this program is new. If you haven't heard, well, if you haven't heard anything about licensing and that sort of thing, it's because that information has not yet been provided to the public. So there's no current licensing or anything going on behind the public. The information will be made available to everybody in short order.
Yeah. Right. Um, can be posted. He's asking if it can be posted or it will be posted. I think he wants to get a commitment that the information.
Yes, it
Yeah,
will.
yeah, of course it can be posted. He wants to make sure that it will be posted. All right. I want to come to a next very important part. Because one of the things that a lot of persons, Mr. Peart, and you'd have heard these conversations out there, is that there is no philosophy. Jamaica has no philosophy. There is no system of play. And you alluded earlier to what was done in Sweden, where they did a complete overhaul of their system and they started integrating a philosophy in their coaching courses that was taught throughout the ranks. Therefore, when persons came into the national system, if they are coming from Westmoreland, if they are coming from St. Thomas, they know how a right back ought to play in the national program at the under 15, under 17, under 20, male, female, or senior team. All right. How will this be done when our culture is primarily based, especially schoolboy football, on winning the title? I would say at most cost, but not at any cost.
I think regarding the philosophy, um, or a creation of a national philosophy, I'm looking at it not so much as what formation or how each person play. I'm looking at it based on certain principles as to how to play. So maybe when you get that right back from Westmoreland, you'll have to know or learn how a different right back is, or right back is to be played at the national level. Because I would say he plays in a back three or a back five, where he's coming from, but he moves to a back four now. Then obviously there's some level of learning or new information that needs to be adapted to. What I'm looking at is the principles. Can we be consistent in the principles? So we're gonna teach defending. The principles are reinforced right across. So when we're defending, we look at delaying forward progression of the opponents. We're looking at being compact. We're looking at offer or somebody pressuring, somebody covering, somebody balancing the
Yeah.
defense. That is the sort of thing where we look at the principles. So whether you're playing a back five, back three, back four, those principles are reinforced. The structure will look different right across, but at least a player understands what the principles are. Same thing with attack. And same thing with a big part that we are in my opinion, we are capable of doing is dominating teams in transition. So that moment when we gain possession from defending to winning the ball, what happens in that 3 or 4 seconds? How do we try to attack against a team that's disorganized? Because they would have a different shape attacking, and we are trying to hit that or those spaces that they offer when we transition it. How do we work when we have lost possession of the ball and that 3 or 4 seconds that we're transitioning to defense? So those key things that every player we need. So in the transition moments, can they first recognize the moment that 3 seconds, this
Yeah.
thing is happening
Right.
here, this moment is present. And then if you're going from defense to attack, you ask yourself, can I score? Can I pass to somebody who can score? Can I attack this team before they become organized? Or if all of that is a no, then can I now play in a moment of attacking our ball possession, employing the principles of attack while I do that?
All right.
So it's more along that line. I go with the philosophy rather than say every team must play 4-3-3. What if I have two very good center forwards?
All right. I think this is no like the I think because the principles I understand the principles, right? Because I teach the principles: pressure, cover, balance, right? Mid block, low block, those are principles of all of those things. All right. All right. So generally, coaches kind of coach that generally right now. I would want to believe, especially let me say this. Let me say it this way. At the high school level, I'd expect our coaches to know the principles of defending, and have principles of how to attack on the transition, like I said, in the moments, how to defend, when you are being attacked, how to the different moments of the game, all the principles of those things. All right. No, those are general principles in football because that is not equipping, like, and this is part of the like the struggle I'm having is I want to play for the national team. See, I don't break through until I'm in my late teens, 19 going to 20, when I'm spotted. All right. Is there a way that our right back play within like the Jamaica primary way of playing? Like I believe like the Germans have a way of playing. And so many of the teams in the Bundesliga, let me use this, play with a high defensive line. Very high defensive line because they try to close down the pitch and play the ball.
Well, at least the good teams like Bayern Munich, Dortmund, but actually the majority of the German teams wait on those transition moments to really dominate. So I get where you're going in terms of what should that player look like, and that would come down to your elite parish teams at the youth level.
Okay.
Or
Here we go.
the coaching at the under 13, under 15, under 17 parish teams.
Parish teams, because those are going to be the feeder for the national program.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just listen. All right. So I'm seeing the last C. It wasn't a secret, and even if it was a secret, it needed to be a secret because it was a what do you call it again? Just explain this again.
So a workshop for coach educators.
Coach educators workshop.
Yeah.
Right.
And a practical component added to
Yeah,
it.
because some of the persons who are at this are persons who are actually involved already in Premier League clubs and in the, like, I think Shana Vincent, who is a part of the national coaching, female coaching setup. So it was like that. It wasn't something that was out there for anyone to join. It was for a select group.
Yeah. And there'll be times when you'll have courses for select groups. Like we are planning to have some D license just exclusively for primary school coaches. We want to have a D license exclusively for women who are making the journey into coaching. So sometimes you will have that that selective group. But I understand what Ansi maybe getting towards is that the access to the information is what we need to pay attention to,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah, and I think right, because he's saying Formula is saying that a lot of aspiring coaches complain about the lack of accessibility all the time. Like, how come I didn't hear about that? And I think I will say to them, because I'm in a parish that many times I hear coaches say that, and sometimes it has to do with your relationship with the parish president, because a lot of this information comes through presently. It comes through the parish president.
But putting that aside, Manning's man, the couple things to note here. The program just restarted in July. That's the first thing to know. And we had some years where we were dormant. So that's very important to know. And even the number of courses vis-a-vis when the program would have just started, say about 2009, when these courses were on rapid, is not the same for the last 5 or so years. So I might see where coaches, and I totally understand that this dormancy really impacted us because we wanted these courses, but they were not available, right? So this is where we're moving towards now. Accessibility of the courses, information as well, persons knowing well ahead of time as to where this course will be. So you can select and say, okay, I'm not going to the one in Kingston, I'm going to the one closer to home in Clarendon or in St. Anne, wherever. So that's the situation there, as we explained. But in moving on, all of this we are focusing on correcting, because if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there, did it really fail, or did it really make a sound? So we want the coaches to know about it. We want the coaches to know where they are and apply for them.
Yeah.
And that's what we are going to provide for you that will take care of that concern.
Once you have that schedule, I'd love for you to come on and we share the screen so the people can see it, and we do a show to tell them, listen, here it is going to be February here, March it will be here. This is the cost, this is the level. Here is how you apply, here is how you pay. And the platform is available once you understand me, once you're available to do it. Siobhan Peart here says that I think what's causing the issue is because most youth coaches have their own style of play. Each individual has their own way of thinking. So if a player has 3 different coaches, that's a conflict. I think he's saying we have an under 13 coach, an under 16 coach, and an under 20 coach. You may be learning 3 different ways of playing the game and systems. But that is why the principle, understanding the principle. Because
the principles apply to every system that you're playing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Unseen says, Sir Peart, if I am developing a football laboratory, who coach around and test team technically, physically, what sort of certificates we must have? Because I have video cameras, etc. So I think the question is, he's building a football laboratory where coaches can test their team, the members of their team, technically and physically, in terms of their physical fitness. What sort of certification would he need to offer that service?
Okay.
That is what the question is.
Part of the whole coach education program as well will be to offer short courses for physical trainers, goalkeeper coaches, video analysts, club managers, club licensing, scouting. That's the road we're moving down with the short courses. So The main ones will be the DCBA Pro in the long term, but we'll also create short courses for specialists.
Specialized coaches, like a
Yes,
goalkeeper coach,
yes,
physical trainer.
yes.
Because they may not need to go through level C, level D, level B. If you want to be a goalkeeper coach, you may not need to do the entire thing. You have a specialized course for that?
Yes,
Okay.
that's all. Because in the workshop that we have just concluded, or the first phase that we just finished, we had two specialist persons on, one who will cater to goalkeepers and one for physical education. And the important thing is that this coach educators trainer program, it's a 1 year program. So it's not a short 1 week thing and then, okay, you're certified to go out and educate coaches. It's a year-long program of the workshop one, mentoring and development period, practical experience of being on the course, right back to next year, December.
Okay. And so in these courses you have like masseuse and
No, not just technical person.
okay, so goalkeeper coaches, like no, in you know what I find is that in modern football there is a cadre of coaches with any one team. So you have a coach who specializes in set plays. Now, is that part of it, or you still have to have a certain
Yeah, I think
certification?
that coach will need to go up to a certain level and then decide individually that this is the road I want to go down. I want to be a set piece specialist or um, that sort of thing. So
Okay, so it's really coaches who have like a C license, maybe they can't get a job, so they just say, you know what, I can be your set piece coach. Or I
create
can be a goalkeeper
opportunities.
coach.
Yeah,
I'll just do some additional training in goalkeeping and be a goalkeeper coach. But they
simple.
already have a C or a B license.
And even the ones who are entering, say you're just concentrated on goalkeepers. I would advise as well to do at least the DRC level.
Yeah.
So like by 2025. So you have that complete, because again, it's a way to call it now, a synchronized program in coaching, because when you're preparing your goalkeepers, you want to prepare your goalkeepers based on what the head coach has planned for his team, playing style, that sort of thing. So you don't want to create a goalkeeper that will not fit that team style or tactical strategics or whatever. So you want to do that.
Okay. So by the end of 2022, we can expect to have how many D licensed coaches in Jamaica?
2022. So if we run 20 courses with 24 persons on, that's 480.
So 480 D license.
Yes.
Right. Some of these people are suspect will move to C license.
In 2023.
Okay. So in
Yeah.
2022, you can't move from D to C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you can move from C to B.
That would be dependent on review from not necessarily CONCACAF, but an academic review board, where we figure that this coach has the capability of going straight to from a C to a B now, without waiting the 1 year process.
All right. So we can safely say that based on the amount of courses, 480 persons minimum will have the opportunity to have D license, D as in dog license. All right, the GC Foster graduate may not need it.
That's correct.
Right? And the person with the advanced level 2 may not need it.
Will not need the D. Will not.
Not need a D.
Advanced level 1 and level 2 will not need a D license.
Will not need a D. And the GC Foster graduate who specialize in
exactly will not need
the D. All right. For the C license though, even the level 1, level 2 will need it, But
level 1 will move on to the C.
right.
The level 2 is the
We have to check and see and go through.
second C and C.
Okay, so the C license, how many C license coaches suspect realistically with those already in the system? You think we probably will have
So 4 times 24, 4, 16, yeah,
96,
96.
96,
Mm-hmm.
96. We should have
At the end of the year.
at the end of the year. And do we have any now?
No,
Or this is in addition to what we have?
No, this 12 that just participated.
Oh, it's the first batch.
First batch.
Okay.
Ever in Jamaica.
All right. And I think we have how many B license coaches? 12?
No, B is 27.
27 B license.
Yes.
So we go end 2023 with 27 B license.
No,
Coaches.
2022.
2020, right? We're going to end 2022 with 27 B license coaches. 90.
We hope to add to that B license number with either 1 or 2 courses. So
Okay.
that would be say add 40.
Okay.
Or let's add minimum 24. So 27 and 24, that's 51.
I would say at 23. Just make it 50.
Okay, we hope to have at least minimum 50 B license coaches. You mentioned 96
C license.
Well, in addition to the 12, then that would be 108.
Yeah, 108.
And
480 D license.
Yeah.
All right. So sounds like good enough number in 1 year. And if you can keep that going for the following year, we could be by 2025, we could be overpopulated with coaches.
Which should be good.
I don't know about
persons that. Right across the pyramid. And as I mentioned before we wrap up management, the grassroots level is what we really need to pay a lot of attention to. Inject the coaches, qualified and certified coaches at that level, because they are the ones who are coming in contact with the young minds.
Yes.
And we want to educate them properly at that level, from 5 or 6 year old right up till they reach into the elite youth stage. So that education at that level, very important. Vis-a-vis to the education that you get in schools, where you learn the basics, phonics, arithmetic at the basic school level. Then you move on to a little bit higher school functions as they go through it. So it's the same thing we want. A lot of the times we have not prepared our youngsters properly, and a lot of them are learning the basics at 12, 13, which is 6 or 7 years too late. So our aim is to really prepare them, and preparing them, we have to prepare the coaches who they will interface with for the majority of the time.
All right, so let me just run through so we can wrap up shortly. Famla saying, I personally don't think that implementing a philosophy is the most important thing right now. The most pressing matter is the need for us to develop our players to an acceptable international standard, which is a grassroots thing you were mentioning.
But also ties into the philosophy, because we're on an island where exposure is not the greatest thing for us. So you look at it, maybe can we get more youth teams qualifying for World Cups, or more youth teams doing well in regional or confederation tournaments? And to do that, you really have to look at certain aspects of a way of playing. Can we dominate in this way? That others will see. So the most important, we didn't say it's the most important. We say there are 2 things that we need to look at. You have to have a framework as to how you educate your coaches. Can't be just general, because then the coaches will go out and coach general.
Yeah, look like a bunch of diamond.
Then you will have a bit of everything. Yeah. But we are saying that some aspects of the way we want to play, can we look at offering our coaching that are preparing coaches in our coach education program to focus on these things? So things like transition, zonal marking. Those are things that will really prepare
They're
players.
just principles, and the truth is,
And
the principles are like the laws,
the
gravity.
principles are the law. They never
Wherever you
change.
go, it applies. If you go international,
Wherever you
it applies, and it's just getting those consistent principles throughout the system to all the coaches coaching all the players, which makes it because
and as I mentioned again,
yeah,
let's populate the grassroots sector with good coaches.
yeah, and Ishmael is agreeing. He's saying that especially their headspace, that quick decision making and awareness, which seems um sorely lacking. I mean, that is what is lacking in the football right now. Um, is all the licensing info available on one easy website? Simplify the info would help, in my opinion. So all the licensing information that you're sharing now, is there one website that all of
The federation's website is currently under maintenance and construction. So that's why I mentioned at start, maybe we can just create one solid document that can be posted on all the social media pages, and we know I am sure sports has a wide reach, so we could circulate.
yes,
Um,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, when it is someone is asked, Barrington number 71 is asking, is it a first come first serve for these courses?
Yes and no in some sense, because if we yes, because once you regionalize it, it will be first from that region um, who gets to enroll or apply for it. But for some courses, as I mentioned again, it will be selection based. Yeah.
Yeah. See, a lot of question coming in, Are there any contingencies put in place for Jamaican living in the diaspora who want to do the course online because they plan on moving back to Jamaica, which is what Mr. Paul was asking earlier, because he
No,
wants to know.
online, no.
Because it's a practical part, so I don't.
Practical part of it, you must be in attendance. So if you could get the time off to come here and do the course and then go back to your environment, and then when you plan to move to Jamaica full time, at least you have started that process.
Yeah. I see IT Push is saying big up Andrew, and he's saying hashtag JC. I don't know if because that's a
Yeah.
all right. So
IT push.
yeah, man. Uh, is there a dichotomy between a good coach versus a well developed squad?
That one is very subjective. That could be a topic of discussion for one of the I am sure sports segments, but but imagine what you can have with a better qualified coach and a well-developed squad. So focusing on the education is really important there. That you can really, if you thought there was a ceiling for your team, then you'll find yourself breaking that ceiling and developing a team even to a higher standard than what you expected. So.
I think somebody's trying to find out about JC Glenmore. I don't know. They're trying to get you in a trap. I don't know. But if you say, do you have all the resources in place to accomplish this, which he's talking about these numbers, which is the 108, 480, and do you have all the stuff you need now to do this in
based on the numbers we outlined, we have first and foremost the human resource. That's very important. As I mentioned, you can't run a coach education program without coach educators. And that's what we have started. Not really started, because there were some coach educators before. I think about 6 or so before. And now we have sought to add to that number so we can have a wider reach. So that's the first important thing we need, the human resource to really, and the trained human resource to really drive this.
Finally, as we close, Mr. Are you doing this in conjunction with one Mr. Wendell Downswell and Mr. Rudolph P, the technical committee and the technical director, or you're off on a limb?
That was a question.
Yeah.
It's a JFF led program. Mr. Wendell Downswell is the director of football for Jamaica, for the JFF, works for the JFF. Mr. Rudolph Speed is the chairman of the Technical and Development Committee. So everybody is under the umbrella of the Jamaica Football Federation, including Andrew Peart. So it's not an Andrew Peart led. I didn't wake up with a dream and say, let's do this. It's a JFF led program, and we look forward to the support of all our stakeholders, all our coaches, and let's work together to help and develop the players who are the most important ones here.
Oh, I'm going to pull a question from the last one, right? From the last interview you left. I don't know if you went back and said, but someone is saying that how you can be the head of the coaching school and your team can't even make the quarterfinal at the Doncaster Cup. Should you stop coaching? Because if you're the head of the coaching school and you coach a team that is not making it out, would that be an indictment against your coaching? Your coaching?
No,
Okay, first one, because they had the LOL at the end of it, so they were saying it in it.
no. You see,
I'm glad for a person too, So I don't know.
that's fine. The thing is that who's the brightest person in the world? Whoever the brightest person in the world is, their teacher was not in the top 100 or so brightest persons, but their teacher facilitated an environment or created an environment that really facilitated learning and growth. So that's the key thing you have to look at here. Think about all your primary school teachers and your high school teachers. They might not be as intellectually smart or high achieving as you are, but at least think about the good ones who really created the environment for you to learn. Even if you are driving a X5 now and they have to be driving a little swift or taking the bus, it's just what did they do to facilitate your development.
I'll
So
go
it's
to
not
Glenn.
necessarily a master teacher. To say, okay, let's find the persons who won the most trophies in Jamaica, who qualified the most teams to the World Cup. Let's have those persons be the ones who lead the program.
If that were the case, then Donald Corey should have been coaching Usain Bolt, right? And not Glenn Mills.
Well, what do you think?
Right. So oh, okay. Brain Drain. This is a Calabar past student saying that he's the brightest person in the world right now.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
A Calabar but had to say something
Yeah.
because you mentioned that some JC business going on. But Rudolph said that this is a coach here as well, was at Mount Pleasant asking to give a review what C license is about, and then we will close right there.
Well, the review, I think the best person to conduct a review would be like from the coaches' perspective. But from their feedback,
I think he's probably asking what it entails.
Okay. So the C license concentrates on leadership, being servant leaders. It focuses on periodization, developing a 6-week periodization model. We look at the moments of the game as well, clear distinction between moments. So we're in ball possession moment, or attacking, defending, and between those you have the transitions from attack to defense, defense to attack. We also look at the principles of play. It was very practical based as well. So we had coaches go out on the field and coach. That's very important to evaluate there. And one of the key things was to have coaches work in groups, because that level of collaboration amongst adults is very important, because you might hear persons say we don't have that culture where we share and try to build each other. What better way to start it than on the courses where we have adults working together, coming up with ideas, and different persons taking leads. You be the assistant coach today, you are the head coach today, or however we want to compose the groups. But those were game analysis as well is a big part of the C license, and also planning and delivering training session.
All right, I see you looking up and down, so that means that it's time to go. Somebody's telling you it's time.
It's trying to put a little baby to sleep soon.
Yeah. All right. Final. Listen, people. This is you've gotten more than the 2 hours, because remember there was an early video that had some struggles. So we go end with this final thing, and then I'll share with you because we have something big coming up tomorrow. I'll let you know what that is. And we're going to give away some Tricknick products today to someone if you can answer a question. Um, so let's take this one. How about training some of the veteran coaches like Jackie Bradley, Henry, and the dentist coach, etc.? Train them and let them go over the island, and we can simultaneously accomplish our goal.
Very important point there, because that is part of our program that we want to develop: mentorship and having these experienced coaches, because all those coaches that he mentioned are former national coaches at different levels, seniors, and
Especially the youth level, yeah.
especially the youth level. And that are that number of years that they would have amassed as experience, who better to help guide young coaches than those ones? So the dentist, he talks about Dean Weatherly, Bradley Stewart, Jackie Walters, Liebert Halliman, Wendell Downswell, all of those coaches. Um, Emerson Henry, Barry Watson, those are the ones who want to give roles of mentors to help guide the next generation of coaches. So it's a continuous development program, and we incorporate in everyone.
Yeah, man. All right, there we go. All right, I want to thank you so much for coming on, for being with us today. Taking time out from your Boxing Day when you should be putting baby to rest to share with us very important information. We look forward to more conversations, and especially I want you to know that if there's information that needs to be shared, the platform is always available for you, because the more information we get out, I think the more transparent people will view us to be, and begin to trust the process. Um I love the move. I love the fact that, if you want to make followers better, you start with putting better leaders in place, and
Mm,
coaches are going to do that. Better coaches in the system from the grassroots all the way up will make football a whole lot better, not just for the Jamaican context, but so we can have more players going overseas, not on trials, but they are good enough
contracts.
to sign contracts. I'm tired of hearing this trial, 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 trial. When I don't hear it in many nations. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything you want to say to the viewing audience before you go?
No, just as I mentioned, everything regarding the program. Let's look forward to a really good working relationship with everybody across Jamaica for 2022. And this is our program, ours meaning Jamaica's program. So we want the support of everyone. And if there are questions, everyone can feel free to um, email me. You can maybe post my
Yes.
email
All right.
address.
So go ahead and give me your email. Let me just
So it's Andrew, Andrew, dot Peart, Peart, at JFF dot LIVE.
AAF.live.
Yeah, so Andrew dot Peart at JFF dot live.
So let me make sure we have it. Just I think you've seen it on the screen. That screen. That is it.
Correct is right.
All right. Yes. So thank you so much. Thanks to your family for allowing you to slip away from family time to be with us. So tell the rest of the family we say a big thank you, and I really appreciate you being on. You're sharing this information. So all the best, and again, I look forward to speaking with you some more on this whole coaching thing. All right. I hope I can get to talk to some of the coaches to come and tell me how well they thought the coach did.
No problem.
All right. Yeah, man.
All
Bless
right.
it.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Thank you. All right. There you go, people. That was Mr. Andrew Peart. Very well said. Um, articulated himself very well. And I'm so happy that he came on. All right. And so there is, for those of you who want information on how the courses will be, when it will be, here is his direct email. It is posted here. You can go and get it. Eagle Republic, yeah, man, I'm going to try and check out that Deshaun Brown highlight. I see Brain Drain saying Manchester United is down one. Um, Yes, I will do that. I'll do that as well. I'll check it out. Check out Deshaun Brown. Eagle Republic says highlights when you get a chance. Northeast United, Indian Premier League. All right, he's playing in the IPL, people. So we're gonna look at that. But I have a giveaway, right? Oh, you were here yesterday, Bridget. that was that was funny. If you have two underscore without without a space, that becomes a line. I don't know how people do those things, but who am I, man? Deshaun Brown. Okay, all right. Took the Eagle Republic. All right, we're gonna try and arrange that for you. We're gonna try and arrange that for you. But tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll be speaking with the General Secretary for the Jamaica Football Federation. His name is Mr. Dalton Wint. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. It is going to be really, really, really good. Trust me, people. Mr. Dalton Wint, 9 a.m. Tuesday, the 28th of December on I Am Sure Sports. That is before I revisit the doctor before my checkup. It's going to be good. But I have a giveaway. I have some Tricknick products. It may take longer. Normally it takes 5 days, but with the holidays, it may take a little longer to get to you. All right. We have done giveaway for persons in the United States, in Canada. So today we want to give someone in Jamaica a whole set of Tricknick products today, and you will get it on the 5th or the 6th of the January. 5th of January. Ryan LSC, blessings and big up, boss. Big up. Yeah, man. Bless up. Yes. So here is the question. All right. Tricknick released their first recipe book this year. What day did they give me the date for the release of the book? The first person to answer that, if you're in, you know what? The first person to answer that will get a box full of Tricknick products, including this recipe book. When was this book released? It was released, let me give you, it was in December, so you need to get the date. It's in December. When was the book released? And don't go checking out the Instagram and the Facebook and their and the website, because you'll see it there. Just answer. People, just answer. It was released December this month. What day in December? Going once, going twice. Big, you go Google. You'll get barbecue sauce, jerk, marinade, hot pepper sauce, curry paste. I mean, you'll get all 6 quick all what, yeah, I mean, what day in me just tell you December this year, so no IT push must be a JC man, you know. No, it's not the 15th of December. It's not the 15th of December. I can't give you any more clues, but it's not the 15th of December. When did Tricknick release that book? Yeah, I'm saying that the brightest man in the world don't know that Paul Marietta. And you know, people, I want to close this stream with a very, very special thing, right? Um, you know, I'm going to close this stream with something very, very special for you, all right? Trust me. You're going to You're going to enjoy this. All right. Let me see if I can get it. I'm going to see if I can get it. But this is very, very special. And I want to close the stream. Who's got the answer? Anyone yet got the answer? What is the release date of the Tricknick recipe book? It was released in the month of December 2021. All right, that's the month, that's the year. All you have to do is give me the day. He is probably watching now. All right, so let me get back to you and see. 15th, I save my intelligence for things that help me accomplish my goals, Paul Murray. All right, so people, like, I normally get some very interesting comments, right? Not They're not necessarily here, but people who watch the videos afterwards, and a lot of them, I would say for the most part, because I'm like this, I shared with you that I think life is like a cake. Some ingredients in a cake by themselves don't taste the best, but when you put them all together, you don't even realize that raw egg is in it, but the cake tastes so good. That's life. Good and bad makes the journey of life interesting. All right. No Barrington Price, not the 10th of December. It's there, and if you go to Tricknick on their Instagram or their Facebook page or their website, you will see it. They have a video with the big release date and all of that. All right. So if you check that out, you'll see it. But so let me read this. Let me read this for you. And I want you to listen to this, right? This is from one of the subscribers to I Am Sure Sports. It says, Shalom, greetings and happy holidays to you and your family, man. I pray the love and mercy of Father Elohim heals whatever ailment or disease afflicts you. I pray the reason the Lamb's name, Yahshua Aim, our Almighty Creator, is magnificent. There are 7.5 billion people on earth, and no two people are or have ever been exactly alike in the entire existence of mankind. If in the past or will in the future express opposing and differing viewpoints to yours, it is a confirmation of the aforementioned statement. It isn't and will not be a rejection or dislike of you, the individual. No, your year end statement was delivered articulately and with dignity. It is, as you have said, a sober reminder that that we are just shaft in the wind, paraphrasing, a fragile but precious thing in the eyes of Creator Father Elohim. At this most appropriate juncture, I take the opportunity to express what I had always intended. You bring your unique nature to a space that has been growing in reach and popularity, intelligent, insightful, factual, and a balanced presentation on sometimes uncomfortable subject matters are brought into the discussion arena, which is in the realm of very good quality. Your guest segment, bringing stakeholders past and present to divulge experiences, information, and advice, serves both the purpose of being valuable and as teachable moments. Continue to challenge, delve, probe, and make inquiries in order to elicit truth and facts, and be intrepid while doing so. Despite occasional disagreements, I thoroughly enjoy both your production and your school of thought, as we have been charged by our risen Savior to do. Much love, my brother. Wanted to share that with you, because, that means a whole lot to me. And I hope, the words also are a blessing to you. Barrington, number 71, is the winner. The book was released on the 7th of December. Did he guess or did he actually find it? Did he find it? Maybe he found it because it's out there. The book was released on the 7th. So, Barrington, you know the number. If not, here is the number. If you can contact us at this number, give us your full name and address. We will have your products delivered to you. IT push, you are late. Barrington, are you in Jamaica? IT push, are you in Jamaica? Because the person in Jamaica will get it. Are you in Jamaica? Who is in Jamaica? If the one who is in Jamaica will get it. Barrington, you in Jamaica? IT push, are you in Jamaica? Who is in Jamaica? Because we did one for Canada already. We did one for uh Ishmael, where you say that? You made a mistake, you turned the numbers around. What that me mean? Hey, Israel, I'm just going to, you know what, Israel, I'm going to send a package. I'm going to send a package to you too. But I don't know how you turn around. December 12th, there's nothing to turn around there, bro. But I'll let you get one. But IT push Barrington. The number is on the screen. So if you guys let me see who is in Jamaica. The one in Jamaica will get it on the 5th. So yeah, let me know. 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 Oh, oh, IT push. Okay, no, we can still get it here. IT push. It's just that it will take a little while. Barrington, are you in Jamaica? Because if you're in Jamaica, we can also get it to you. Um, it will get to you like on the 5th. IT push will take a little while, so just text in your information and we will have it shipped to you. Barrington, let us get your info. Ishmael, we'll get yours to you. I don't know what numbers you got wrong, but just because you made me laugh, I will do that. Barrington. All right, so let me know. Reach out to the number. That's the number on screen, and we will arrange for you to get your Trick Nick products. Listen, God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the festive season. Remember to join us at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning when we will be having conversation with none other than Mr. Dalton Wint, the General Secretary. Yes, at the Jamaica Football Federation. All right. Want to say a big thank you to Mr. Andrew Peart for joining and staying with us. And thank you, all of you as well, for being a part of this discussion today. We normally don't break our interviews to tell you to like or subscribe. And many times, even our moderators, they are so focused on listening to the interview that they don't even put it in the comment section, just to remind you. So please, if you have not yet, I ask you to go ahead and hit the like button. But not only that, please also listen, if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We'd really like to accomplish one of our goals for this year, which is to get to 2,500 subscribers. We are not a lot in terms of the numbers, and you can help with that process. So if you have not yet, please go ahead and subscribe. So big up to all of you: M10 Football, IT Push, Brain Drain, Ishmael Aiken, Barrington, number 71, Paul, Marriott, bless up, Fresh God was here, CC Sports Lab was here, Ryan LFC, bless up, Eagle Republic, All Topic TV, Ishmael King. Yeah, man. Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. Pagan 180. Enough respect, bro. Always in. MPW 94. Bless up yourself as well. Yes. Marquino. Ferron. A lot of question today. Everton Jackson. Much respect. Yes. No, Fresh God was here as well. Siobhan Peart was in here. Formula Sports in the building. Bless up my brother, the calm one, cool, calm, and collective. Kirk out there in from the second city. Fresh God. Every time, every time. Bless up, bless up. Thank you for all the love and the support. Rudolph. Yeah, man. Not the red-nosed reindeer. Just in it. Unseen sport. Yeah, the man with all the scoop and all the schoolboy action around here. Bless you, one and all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wish I could stay with you all day, but I gotta finish some jigsaw puzzles with my kids. You know, they have like some 5,000 puzzles, so we're gonna work on that. That's our project, you know. So blessings and peace to you all. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. We leave you with a word from our sponsors. Trick, Nick, here we go.
Picnic Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.